Welcome back, D Warriors. This is Tony Song, Diabetes CEO here, and today I want to do an open box episode. And basically, what that means is I'm going to open up a device and show you what's in it and how it works. And today's open box will be on a meter called the Telcare meter, and this is created by a company called Telcare. And really the unique thing about this meter that's not like any other meter that we've seen or used is the ability to transmit a blood glucose reading into the cloud to be able to be seen by healthcare professionals, family members, and of course the patient. And again, I know that there's other meters out there that do send the data up into the clouds, but this one is a little different in the sense that it's not Bluetooth enabled, meaning that it is cellular enabled. It actually has a connection just like your cell phone does to AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and it sends it automatically. I mean, there is a setting on here that you can set so it doesn't do that, but if you wanted to do that, it could set it automatically into the cloud and be able to be seen by your clinicians just to make sure that things are okay. And of course, that kind of helps you for a couple of things. One is that you don't have to write down all the blood sugar readings that you're getting, because they actually can see that real time. So when you test, they see it. So that's kind of a cool thing for monitoring as well. So let's say you have a situation where your blood sugars are really low, but you don't have anybody around to help you. Well, there could be somebody on the other side monitoring that blood sugar, and if they see that low blood sugar to a point where it's critical, they could either contact your doctor, contact a family member, or contact you to let you know, hey, how are things going? Are you okay? And if it's a situation where it's an emergency situation, they would even be able to call the 911 or emergency care to make sure that you're taken care of. So it's kind of unique. The only one that we've seen so far that does that. So I'm going to open this box for you and kind of go over what it does and how to use it. Okay, so let's have a look at the Telcare meter. It comes in a box like this. Should be sent from your DME company that your medical group contracts with. So let's go ahead and open it. So what I find inside first is a quick reference guide. And let's see here, what is this? This is looks like a user's manual. So this might be something that you want to read first. Kind of goes over how to charge it, how to clean it, how to take care of it, and also how to test with it. So it's a good reference, so keep that. Also a user manual, which is a little bit thicker, lots more stuff on there. It also comes with a Spanish version of the user instructions. All right, and then also the reference guide and the user manual in Spanish as well. Okay, so it comes with a lot of good stuff in there that you want to keep. Here's the meter itself, so let me go ahead and take that out. That's what it looks like. It's got some buttons on the side. All right, on and off button on that side. All right, so I'm going to put that down. Let's see what else is in this box. So it looks like it's got a little cover, so let's get rid of that. And inside, we can see that we have some different things here. First thing we have is a, let's see here, a charger. So we have a charger that we're going to plug in. So it does use a rechargeable battery inside of it. So you do need to charge it every once in a while when it does get low. And so you're going to use that. Put that right there. Let's see here. We have test strips. So it looks like there's 10 test strips in here. It's a sample of 10, so you can start using your meter right away. But your meter should have come with testing supplies as well. So if it didn't, then call the distributor and let them know that you didn't get those test strips and get those sent to you right away. Okay, so we'll open that in a little bit second. Also inside here you have a Telcare glucose control solution. And so what this is used for is if you have any irregular readings on the meter, you're going to use this to see if there's anything wrong with the meter or the testing supplies. And if there is, then obviously you're going to call the manufacturer or your distributor that sent you the meter to take care of it. And so we'll show you how to use that as well. And then we've got a couple more things in here. Here's a Landset device. And so this is the device that you're going to poke your finger with to get a little drop of blood. So let's put that on the side here. And then also they do offer some sample Landsets that you can put into the Landset device. So these are the little things that have the needles on them to poke your finger. Okay, so it looks like there's about 10 of those in here as well. And one last thing. Let's see here. What is this? This looks like perhaps, no, it's just more information about how to take care of your meter, it looks like. So I'll put that here. Okay. So that's pretty much all there is in the box. Let's put that off to the side and see what we're going to do here. So I'm going to put these things away. We don't need these right now. What we need is that, and this. And of course, the charger, you're going to find that the charger has a pretty long cord. I think it's about a 4-foot cord or so. And then it goes, when you plug it into the wall, you're going to put it right in this little hole, this little outlet in the bottom of the meter, right? So you're just going to put it right in there. Here we go. I'm going to press it in there, make sure it's this way. There you go. Okay. So it goes in like that, and then you plug it into the wall, and it will charge it. Now, one thing I did notice when I first opened this was that it was low on batteries, and so, the battery was low, so I had to plug this in. It looked like for about 4 hours or so, and it was fully charged after that. Okay. So I'm going to put that off to the side, so don't lose that. Okay, so this is the meter. Let me turn this on so that you can see what happens. So there is an on and off. I'm going to bring this closer to the camera so you can see that there is an on and off right there, right? On and off. So we're going to go ahead and switch that to the on position. Right? Like that. And let's see what happens. There we go. So now it's on. You see the Telcare logo on there. It's a color display, which is really nice too. It says this meter transmits my glucose meter. Okay, so great. Now you can see that when you turned it on, it automatically, I mean, this is really simple. It automatically tells you what to do next. It says insert test strip, and so we'll go ahead and do that. But then the other thing I want you to notice, I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer to the camera, is that up here up on top you can see that there is this Verizon. It almost looks like a cell phone symbol, right? And it's got the 5 bars there that shows you the strength of the signal. So basically what it's saying is that it's connected to the cellular Verizon network, which means that when you do test, it will send that information into the cloud and to whoever needs to know, whether it be your healthcare professional, your family, whoever needs to know, okay? And then you can see on this side, there is the date, and it's auto date, so meaning that I didn't have to do anything with that, and time. And so it's like your cell phone. When you turn it on, the date's already automatically sent to the system. So right now it says December 31st, and it's 11:20. So pretty neat. Okay, and then also it says here insert test strip, and so it's already telling you exactly what to do. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and these are your test strips, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open up the test strip, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right. So that's what the test strip looked like. Let me take it up a little bit closer to the camera. Telcare is what it says, and then it has this circuit board looking part, and then it also has this little, looks like a little line in a gray area, right? Okay, so the circuit board area is going to go into your meter, and then the little line here in the gray, that's where your blood is going to go, okay? All right, so we're going to put that into the machine. Hey, look at this. So this is one of the things I want to show you. All meters do this, and basically what it's doing, you can see that there's no more color display on there, right? What it does is, because the meter is going into a battery save mode, it actually turns itself off. Now there's two ways to do this. One is to just go ahead and turn it off again, right? And then turn it on, and then that will turn it on again. Give it a little bit of time. There you go. And we'll wait for it to tell us what to do, which is to put a test strip in there, right? Okay, now it says insert test strip. And so I'm going to show you where this test strip actually goes, okay? So if you look at the top of your meter, right, and if I turn it around this way, you're going to see that there is a little slot right up here in the top, okay? That is where your test strip is going to go, okay? And see, it goes right in there, and then just push it all the way in, like that, all right? You see that? And then when I did that, you can see now it's telling you your next instruction. Now it's telling you apply blood. And there's actually a little blood icon there going towards the test strip, right? And that means it's ready for blood, right? So I'm going to put that down. Okay. And then at this point, you're just going to get your Landset device. And if you haven't used a Landset device before, basically what it is a device that you poke your finger, right? So you poke your finger, get a little blood, and you're going to put it right on the edge, right? So how this works is you're going to turn this like that, and you can see that there is the cap, right? And then there is this portion where you're going to put the Landset right in there, and those are the needles, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take one out. This is what the Landsets look like, okay? And you can see that it has this little round thing at the end, and then it's kind of just a cylinder type of thing at the other end. That cylinder is going to go right into this device. See right there? It's going to push right in, just like that, okay, until it's snug. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this little round piece, 1, 2, 3, okay, and I'm going to pull away. And what that's going to do is it's going to expose the needle. You see that? Yeah, so it exposes the needle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the cap, put it right back on there, and then twist. Okay? When you twist, it'll be nice and snug, and now you're ready to give to lance your finger so you can get some blood. A couple other things I want to show you. First thing is up here. You see where the numbers? Can you see the numbers? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If I turn that, well, you're going to have to hold this part, but as I turn that, you can hear a click. 1, right? I don't know if you can hear that. There's a click that goes on, right? And so basically what it's doing is there's an indentation here, but it's pointing to the 1. And the lower the number, the less the Landset will go into your skin. So the higher the number, the deeper the Landset will go in. The lower the number, the less it'll go in, right? So that really depends on how thick your skin is on your finger. Maybe you have calluses, and then if that's the case, then you probably need to go a little bit higher, right? But what I recommend is that you start at about 2. That might be a good number. And so what you're looking for is the right amount to give yourself, get enough blood without the pain, right? So less pain with getting the blood. Now, if you try 2 and you don't get any blood, then you have to go to 3, right? 3 and then 4 and whatever, right? So you go to the next depth setting, and so until you get the blood, right? But there's a happy medium where you get blood and there's not as much pain, right? So let's go ahead and just do it too. Now, as far as your finger, what you're looking to do is give your the lens to poke yourself in what we would like to say two areas, right? So either here, which is the corner of your finger, or the other corner of your finger. Those are probably the best places. The only reason why that's a good place to do it is because the nerves usually run the most right down the center of your finger. So it may hurt the most if you go down the center. If you go through the sides, there's a chance that there's less nerves, so those are the better places because it may not hurt as much, right? If you make two happy faces, or a happy face, an eye, and a smile, right? The eyes are where you want to poke your finger. So let me give you an example. Okay, so I drew some eyes on my finger, you can see that, right? And so that's where you want to hit your finger with a Landset device is where the eyes are, right? On the edges, right? So those are the places that you want to try to get to, because again, what you're looking for is a little bit of blood, not too much. This machine actually takes a very small amount of blood with the least amount of pain. So we recommend is on the sides of the finger instead of down the middle of the finger, right? So the other features of the Landset I really want to go over is the button here. So the button is the button to engage the needle. So when you press it, the button will come out and lance your finger, right? So that's the trigger, right? And then there's also this little thing in the back that kind of pulls back. You see that? Yeah. And so for instance, let's say you accidentally press that button, okay? Because right now it's engaged because we pushed that Landset in. But if for whatever reason I press that button by mistake, I don't know if you heard that, it's a little click, and that was the action of the Landset coming in and out. If that happened, how do I engage this system again, right? It's real simple. It's this little thing here. So you just pull back until you hear a click, and now you're ready again. You'll see that this little button also pops up, right? So now you're ready, okay? So again, you just go on the corner of your finger like this. Let me take it up a little bit higher so you can see it, right? Either here or here, right? But you want to try to see if you can hit one of the eyes. Then you'll press the button like that, all right? And then at this point, you're going to squeeze. And what I like you to do is kind of squeeze from the back all the way to the front, right? So you want to milk your finger like this, right? And you can see that's a little bit of blood. You don't actually need too much, right? Yeah. Now you bring your meter and see that little strip there that we talked about, right? That little strip, you just want to bring it up against your finger and just touch the blood. Don't scoop it up, don't do anything, just touch it like that. And now you can see that the meter actually sucked up the blood. Now it's counting down, right? So now it's telling you what your blood sugar is. So mine right now is 135, right? And then at this point, you can do a couple of different things. It's actually asking you whether you want, if this blood sugar is before breakfast or a fasting, which means that you haven't had anything to eat, after breakfast, before lunch, or after lunch. And you can select that, if you wanted to, through these little buttons on the side. So if I press down, you see that it goes down to the selection. Now you don't have to do that. It just gives the clinician a little bit more information about what that blood sugar means, right? So after you eat, usually your blood sugar will rise. And so for that reason, it might be a good idea to let your clinician know, hey, yeah, this blood sugar was after I ate. It's telling me to remove my strip, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. So it looks like it only gives you a certain amount of time to do that as well. I think you can go back and do that if you wanted to, but at that point, then it's kind of forcing you to take that test strip out, and then it'll send that information into the cloud to your doctor. So, and then that's it. It actually gives you a little bit of more information about that blood sugar reading, right? So it's telling you there's like a blue, a green, a yellow, and a red, right? And so basically what those numbers are telling you, or the range is telling you, is that your blood sugars are, you know, in a decent area if it's in the green. If it's in the yellow, then hey, you know what? Something's happening here. Let's talk to your doctor. Let's try to figure this out. If it's in the red, wow, yeah, let's do something about this right away, right? So those are the things that that you would actually, if you don't know, might be a good idea to take a diabetes program to understand what these ranges really mean and what you can do when the blood sugars get to those ranges, right? And the blue one is being low too, so you got to know what to do when you have low blood sugar as well. These are really important things to understand when you have diabetes, right? Yeah. So after that, then you're done, and it'll turn itself off automatically if you just leave it, right? Or you can go ahead and turn it off on this side. Let's go ahead and do that, and it just turns it off. And you're all done for the next time, right? Pretty simple. The last thing is the Landset that's in here. So it's a used Landset, so I want you to go ahead and turn that cover, take it out, right? And then you want to take the old Landset out. What I like to do is, if you have your old cap, right, I usually put it down on the ground and then I stab it, because, you know, I don't want to stab myself again. I stab it like that with the needle in here, and it closes it completely, right? And I don't have to worry about poking myself again. I just pull this right out, and then we want to put these in a sharps container, right? Because they are sharp, and they have a bit, you know, a little bit of your blood on there, so it is a hazardous waste. So we want to throw those out appropriately. Okay, and then this goes back on here, turn it around, and you are all set, right? I believe everything comes in a case too. I don't know where my case is. It didn't come with one, so that was interesting. It should come with a case, and everything should go into your case in the appropriate area. So, so that should come with your meter. Let me see. The other thing I wanted to go over was the test strips, right? So on the test strips, you really don't want to keep your test strips in an area that's either too hot or with a lot of moisture. So the two things I want you to remember: don't keep your test strips in a hot place, like your car or anything like that, right? You want to keep it in a cool place. The other thing is, you want to make sure that this cap is always closed and locked, right? So it's really tight like that. You don't want it just slightly open like that or anything, right? We don't want that happening. We want it tight like that. And the reason why is because moisture and heat are the two things that will affect the test strips. So too much moisture in the area or too much heat will damage the test strips, and you won't get a good reading, okay? So those are two things. And the reason why you like to close it is because when you close it, then it protects the test strips, and it doesn't allow any moisture to go in there as well, okay? So that's real important. One thing I forgot to mention when you test your blood sugar is to make sure that your hands are clean, right? Soap and water is probably the perfect thing to use. You don't need to use alcohol swabs unless you have it. Those are convenient, but you don't necessarily need to alcohol your finger every time, right? You can use soap and water, but the idea behind doing that, cleaning your fingers before you test, is that just in case, let's say you ate something that had some glucose on it or sugar on it, and you tested your blood, it could test that thing that you were eating, right? So let's say you had an orange, and you ate an orange with your hands, and there's some of the orange juice got on your finger, and then you test yourself, right? It could test the orange juice, and so it could give you a wrong reading, and that is why it's so important to clean your hands, wash your hands with just soap and water is really good, so that your blood to give you your good reading or your reading, right? So just make sure that happens. That's a really good tip when you have when you're doing your blood sugar readings. You could see that it is a pretty simple meter. I mean, it is a meter like any other meter. You know, you put your test strip in, you put your blood sugar, your blood on there, and it gives you a reading. The only difference on this, it's very special difference, is that it gets sent to the cloud. And it goes sent to the cloud, it goes to somebody that really wants to know what's happening, right? So you can see that it's a real simple blood sugar, glucose meter to use, just like all the other ones really. But it adds an added feature of somebody being able to monitor your blood sugar. So I think that's a really good thing for some people. It may not be good for everybody, but I think there is definitely those patients that could definitely use that monitoring. Give you an example, if you're living alone and there's nobody else that can take care of you, you have a high blood sugar or a low blood sugar, well, someone could monitor that and make sure that you're taken care of, right? Yeah. That is the open box of the Telcare meter, and I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed the episode. Let me know if there's anything else that you're going to need or any questions, and I'll be able to answer that in the comment. And, we'll see you next time. This is Tony Song, Diabetes CEO here, signing out.